XDefiant is in serious trouble and on the verge of losing the rest of its player base. Let's talk about some of the reasons on why this is happening. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and the other day I put out a video going over how the top ranked players in this game were smurfing and boosting other people's accounts, and some were even selling boosted accounts for financial gain. And since that video, it seems like some people still just don't understand how outside of all of that, including the smurfing, breaks Ubisoft's terms of use agreement, but also how it's just bad for the overall health of the game. And the excuses for doing this that these players have openly said, either to me on Twitter or in their streams, is the most asinine thing ever, and just proves that they either do not care for the longevity of this game, or they really don't understand how this is a bad thing. I'll touch on that in a moment, but let's address the elephant in the room. Does the game have more issues right now other than smurfing and people boosting accounts? Obviously. There's bigger fish to fry, things like netcode, hit reg, lack of content or lack of good content, and just the game getting boring and losing tons and tons of players every week. Yes, those are all issues that exist that need to be fixed before we can fix the smurfing problem. But fixing the smurfing problem should start now because, for starters, it's a pretty easy temporary fix, and it's not like it would take months to address this issue. All you need to do is make an example out of these top players doing this by banning their smurf permanently, and then also temporarily ban their main account for like a week or something. Once you set that example that the top players aren't untouchable, that trickles down and everyone else is like, oh shit, they're not playing around. This is at most a day's worth of work for a small team of people on the game, because the top players make it so obvious. They tweet about it, they advertise it doing on their stream, they're even playing on one another's accounts. The number one legend right now, or the only legend in the game, Astonish, was playing on Parasite's account, and the amount of rule breaking going on by all of these top ranked players that are doing this is insane to me, and I can only assume that the people at XDefiant are aware this is going on, because unless they are just willfully ignorant, it's been put right in their faces. The problem is they won't do anything about it because they either know one another or they're friends, or they think it'll be a bad look, or enough people aren't upset about it, which I think is the main issue here. So let me try to give you a breakdown of why this is bad for the game and why these top ranked players need to be made an example of before this gets out of hand. Let's start off with the why. Why do these players smurf? And for those who are watching this and don't know what smurfing is or a smurf account, quick rundown, it's just an alternate account that they make so they can play ranked and terrorize the lower ranked players. But let's hear them out first. I was told by numerous people, including Astonish himself, that the only reason they smurf is because of the issues with ranked right now. Those issues mainly being the matchmaking times. They state they can't find a match for a long time, if at all, and no one wants to sit there on stream in a 30 to 45 minute plus queue looking for a ranked game that they may or may never get. So instead, they make a smurf account and goes and plays ranked on that, which I was then told that I can't really comment on this topic because I'm not high enough ranked to experience this issue. And I don't need to be high enough ranked to know that a 30-minute wait time for a game that you probably won't even get is outrageous. I'd go so far as to say a 5-minute wait time is too much. But let's discuss why this is happening. Long wait times happen in ranked because there aren't enough players on in that rank or within that ranked range that they can queue with at any one given time. This causes the matchmaking time to be really high. Now, stay with me here. Top ranked players can't find a ranked game, so what are they to do to still be able to play the game and keep their audience on stream entertained? Well, I can think of 5 things off the top of my head right now that you could do to keep things fun and entertaining for your audience. If you really want to play this game, then play pubs. And for those that try to use the argument that they want a competitive style game, pubs is going to be more competitive than you stomping through bronze, silver, and gold lobbies for the first few days. But if pubs still isn't a challenge for you, even though there's no skill-based matchmaking like they wanted, then do something like a strat roulette where your team has to abide by some set of rules to make it fun, like revolvers only or something. You could play with viewers. That's always fun. And a lot of them, it means the world to them, especially when you're a bigger streamer. Try playing on the opposite input you're used to as a challenge. If you play with controller, try out mouse and keyboard. Find or make your own randomized loadout generator and do that. Or just go play a different game. All things you can do, none of which break the terms of use that you can do as a streamer to keep your audience entertained instead of smurfing. You're supposed to be a content creator, so be creative. But even all of that aside, let's talk about why what they're doing is bad and detrimental to the game's overall health and longevity. Say the top ranked player makes a Smurf account and goes into ranked with it starting at bronze 1. They're for sure going to smack down lobbies going all the way through gold and maybe even higher, regardless of who their teammates are. So anyone that plays against this person is probably going to have a bad ranked experience because they're essentially facing a much higher skilled player than themselves in a mode where there's supposed to be skill-based matchmaking and you're not supposed to play those types of players at all. But having a Smurf is a way to get around this. And doing this could put some of those people off the game very quickly and they might never come back. So those people who could have climbed the ranks and improved over time and helped with long matchmaking queues in the higher ranks at some point are now gone because they decided smurfing was okay and ruined that person's ranked experience. But also if you're playing with other people to boost them and their account, you're not only doing that, but now you're getting players that don't otherwise belong in a higher rank to that rank. And all this is going to do is when and if they play on their own or without the person boosting them, they fall right back down into the rank where they belong. And the best part is they say things like, I'm only boosting because of the issues, and people think that when and if they get more people to play ranked and more people in higher ranks, that they won't smurf anymore. They will. They'll continue to smurf. They've done it on the other games they came from, Rogue Company, Fortnite, Call of Duty. There's proof that they have smurfs and played on them in all of those games. To believe them when they say things like that is just naive. They won't stop unless they face some sort of repercussion for doing it and or understand why they shouldn't be doing it. They also make it seem like it's the game's fault for all these issues, but the ranked system is fine. Sure, it could use some tweaks here and there and give you some more RP, but the current amount of RP or anything like that isn't the issue. The issue is the lack of players, and yeah, most of that is the developer's fault because ranked was just an absolute disaster when it came out, but by smurfing, it's certainly not helping any now, is it? Then I also heard someone say in passing, and I won't say who it was because I caught the tail end of it and it was only half a conversation that I could hear, so I may be taking this out of context, but they said everyone has a smurf. And no, they don't. Not everyone has a smurf because not everyone has a need for a smurf or a desire to make one. I've made smurfs on other games before where it doesn't break terms of service and I wasn't using it for the general purpose of what most people think a smurf account would be used for. So other than the current issues with ranked and matchmaking times being crazy high right now for higher ranked players, the only time a person would use a smurf as a real smurf for themselves in most other games is because they've already reached a certain rank and either don't want to lose it or don't want to compete against similar skilled competition, which is why these are the same players who say skill-based matchmaking is bad. They're above average, higher ranked players who don't want to play other players that are as skilled as they are all the time. They want easy gameplay, relaxed gameplay. And if this was the case, they should just play pubs because there's no skill-based matchmaking. But some have other reasons for doing it because they're boosting other people's accounts, not just enjoying the game on their own. It's all scummy behavior no matter how you look at it, and more of you should be upset about this if you want this game to last. Smurfing won't kill this game overnight, but as they fix all the problems that do exist and make the game better, smurfing will slowly come to the forefront, and when everyone else is complaining about how it's ruining the experience for them in the game, just like it ruins every other game, especially all the free-to-play ones, all I'll be able to say to you is, I told you so. Someone told me at one point in Overwatch, most of the top ranked leaderboards were all people's main accounts and then there are one or two smurfs. Imagine the top 500 leaderboard in this game, but it's only 250 different people and not 500. Taking away spots from others that can claim that spot and get the rewards for it is not going to feel great when you're someone who's right on the edge of taking one of those spots, but can't because of all the smurfs. Anyway, I'm done calling people out here and on Twitter. You know who you are. And collectively, you're contributing to the game's downfall. And it's because you don't care, then you're going right back to COD as soon as it comes out. And when that happens, that's when we'll see the real creators who stick around and want to make this game succeed and be better, not just the ones who are using it to fill a gap between CODs. And if you just take a look at my Twitter feed, it's outrageous the things that people have stooped to. Name calling, antagonizing, it's all just childish bullshit. And it mostly seems to be the younger generation of gamers. Some of them I didn't expect to engage in this childish stuff, but here we are. These are the kinds of people that don't care until something affects them. Even though they're breaking terms of service, they just don't care. So I guess when you're in the middle of a game and somebody DDoSes you or crashes the server and you lose RP because of it, that's not a problem, right? Because it's just the hacking community giving content to their followers on Twitch or wherever they're streaming on Discord, right? No, not right. That's wrong. Not only is that breaking terms of service, it's illegal to do that. But either way, troll me all you want. This is the hill I'll die on, because all of the other players know that if it was them playing on somebody else's account or boosting accounts or selling accounts for financial gain, we would all be banned the second they found out about it. And for those that have reached out to me publicly and privately that stand by me on this and have the same viewpoint as I do, thank you. I hope this video helps some more people see why this is such a problem and why it'll only become a much bigger problem if it isn't addressed to some capacity now. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, as it really helps out the channel. And if you're a returning viewer, consider subscribing and sticking around. I plan on getting back to some more quality check videos. My next one will most likely be on the small vertical grip, so make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss that upload, and I'll catch you in the next one.